B2B Cambodia, the portal for business news in Cambodia. This is B2B Cambodia Sarvanos. Thanks for watching. Today I'll be joining with Mr. Julien Drolon, a French business matchmaker, producer, and a host of fast-growing business podcast called Legacy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, Ms. Ravi. I'm envious with you because you're having my seat. Normally, I'm the one to ask the question, but thank you so much for inviting me on B2B Cambodia. I really admire your work and all your partners who are involved in this.
Thank you so much. Could you tell us a little bit about Legacy Podcast and what motivated you to start a Legacy Podcast?
Well, I brought you what I used to do. So this is the Financial Times of China, the Economic Observer. That's the equivalent. So I just published a business report within it, featuring Malaysia. Public-private sector. And while doing this report, I used to be in the industry since 2006. Of course, I realized the podcast industry is growing very fast. Some people say that Donald Trump won the last election in America thanks to a famous podcast with Joe Rogan, when he made 50 million views, which is much higher than any ratings that you can get on TV. So I realized maybe I was not in the wrong industry, which is media, but maybe in the wrong specific printing media, which I believe is dying. So I decided to spend more time on this podcast and create my own brand called Legacy to feature top CEOs and entrepreneurs from all over the world. So we just started in January. And it's so far it's doing very well. We have already more than 33,000 followers combined between YouTube and Instagram. A lot of requests from people to be part of the show. So we can't be more happy than that.
Could you highlight a particular interview that really stood out to you and why it stood out to you?
Well, I don't want to make anyone jealous, so I have to be very careful. But I think I will go with the first one, with Dr. Haider Uzzaman, who is a prominent entrepreneur. Who did very well in Bangladesh, being the first entrepreneur to start a private airline for his country before moving into the global scene, and now he's doing business matchmaking at a very high level. He has the ambition to raise $100 billion in Africa in his next event in Kenya, in Nairobi, in October. And we are a media partner. Actually, we are the first media partner in this venture, so it's quite exciting. He came twice on the show already.
What key lessons you've learned as you've interviewed more and more entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, businessmen, and leaders from different industries? What lessons have you learned from them, from lessons they have shared?
Coming back to Dr. Haider, because I consider him to be one of my mentors, he said something that really struck me. He said, "I'm very good at making money, but I'm not that good at keeping it." And I kind of feel the same. I became very successful in my 20s. I bought cash my first real estate project when I was 27 years old. I was making more money than my father, but I didn't learn how to keep it, and there's a skill, So some people are good at both, but in my case, it is something that when he said that to me during the interview, it struck me because it's something I know I need to get better at. And definitely there are ways to know how to keep it, and it all goes also on doing the right investments. So I learned a lot about what to do in times of crisis, what type of investment, and we talk a lot about this on and off record. So I think I'm learning a lot from them, And I always try to connect at the human level first, because anybody can make money. But being rich and being civilized and to take care of others, there are very few I know in the world. So this is why my podcast, sometimes I don't shoot for a couple of weeks, because I'm looking for the people that will inspire me again and again. And if they inspire me, they will definitely inspire you.
Talking about inspirations, why do you think podcasts are becoming so influential? And how do they actually inspire the audience?
Well, it's funny because even my mother, she's a big fan of podcasts. So when I told her I was about to launch my own podcast, she really encouraged me because she's listening a few. I think it's because people don't have the time to sit down and watch TV for hours, and podcast is something you can listen on the go. And I think it's basically giving the power to the people in the sense that anybody can broadcast a podcast at a very low cost. So it gives a lot of diversity, and it's mobile, which means you can listen to the podcast anywhere you want. So it's much easier to follow a podcast show than a TV show. So I think for that reason, because we are a very mobile civilization now, it's obvious that the podcast, it is the new media. And it's taking over the TVs. It's just a matter of time.
What do you hope to achieve with Legacy Podcasts?
Well, I think the answer is in the title and the name we chose for the project, for the Legacy. So it's to help businesses to flourish, entrepreneurs to leave a legacy. Some are good at leaving the legacy, but they are not good at promoting it. So we don't really know what they achieved. And by the time the owner of the business empire that he built passed away, we don't even know what it was all about, or it was only on specific businesses. So a lot of lessons, a lot of great knowledge is lost along the way. So we want to encourage our clients and the people we feature in our podcast to be basically engaged to do that yearly with us, because every year you need to update everyone, and I believe the podcast is the best medium for that, which will legacy, you can't build that in one day. It's a constant reminder, and the communication must be there, and this is why Legacy Business Podcast has been created, and hopefully we will achieve that.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Julien, for joining us today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
This was B2B Cambodia serving us. Thanks for watching. Join us next time as we continue to bring you more news, updates, and developments from the business community in the Kingdom of Cambodia.